one last thing on the contracts thing, not from WWE, but AEW actually, not that their contracts are expiring, they already expired. We had 3 departures in the past couple of weeks. Mark Henry, who's been behind the scenes for a while now, I think they started him out as a commentator before doing the Rampage, announcer thing. He was doing that for a little while. Jake Hager's gone. He was a day oneer in AEW. Not day one, but he joined on day one at Dynamite. And then Arn Anderson is also gone after having not been on TV in quite a while. So your thoughts on the departures from AEW of Mark Henry, Jake Hager, and Arn Anderson, and just their respective runs in AEW, and if you could see any one of them being back in WWE at some point.
Yeah, I mean, with Arn and Mark specifically, they're obviously older, retired wrestlers. Arn, I think he was strictly just to be with Cody, honestly.
Yeah.
I know after Cody left, he did the whole Brock Anderson thing, but that never really materialized. But
no.
Arn was decent with Cody, but it just a babyface manager doesn't really do much. It's not like Cody really needed him to talk for him either, so it was kind of a bizarre pairing. But I thought it was decent. Mark, I don't even know why they brought him in. I know he was supposed to commentate, and then he was doing the main event interview with the face and the baby, the face and the heel, kind of side by side. He was doing the hype for that, and then they just stopped using him. Okay. And then with Hager, Jericho didn't have a group anymore. I guess he didn't want to go into the learning tree, but Hager was just a big guy that did practically nothing for the whole time he was there. He was just always with Jericho, never really did anything of importance. He was just a big guy in a stable that no one cared about. It's the truth.
He was the guy that they signed at a time, and I know him and Jericho are close because of some sort of incident that happened overseas. I think Jake Hager had saved Jericho's ass at one point overseas, probably about a decade or so ago. But anyway, so I think they brought him in because he was close with Jericho, and they wanted him for the group. And like I said before we hit record here, the free agency market in late 2019 wasn't exactly overly exciting pre-COVID, before a lot of contracts, because I think a lot of WWE people as well wanted to see what AEW would turn into, and before it really started hitting the ground running, and then it's all right, now we can jump on over there because there's a chance that I can be a star. That's when Matt Hardy left and went to AEW, and Luke Harper and people like that, FTR. When Jake Hager was there, they didn't really have a whole lot of people to sign from WWE or the free agency market, and they had already signed a whole lot of people before that, so he was on the first ever Dynamite. He closed out that show, joining I almost said Jericho Appreciation Society. He was a part of that too, but the initial group, the Inner Circle, the fucking first Jericho faction. Arn Anderson, though, it's funny you bring him up because I know we discussed this at the time, 5 years ago. Bold opinion, I think. I know you agree, but I don't think Cody ever really needed him. I know you mentioned that. Because Cody doesn't need someone to do the talking for him. I just never really thought Arn Anderson added anything to the Cody Rhodes presentation at all. He was there, and it gave him the classic old school manager vibe a little bit. I know Cody's been talking about that recently. But as a babyface, Cody never really needed Arn at all. Obviously Roman didn't need Heyman to do the talking for him, but as a heel it worked. With Cody and Arn, I don't know, I just didn't really feel it was ever necessary. That being said, though, like I mentioned, Cody teased recently bringing in Arn, not Arn specifically, but saying, it would be nice if I had a manager during this WWE title run of mine. Could you see a scenario where they bring in Arn Anderson to be with Cody on a full-time basis? Because I guess it could happen. It would be a nice throwback to their AEW run together. I just don't really think it's necessary because Cody on his own, to me, is perfectly fine as is.
I don't think I don't think you need to bring Arn back unless he's bringing the Glock. Besides that,
yeah,
leave Arn at home.
Yeah, no, the Glock would be a nice touch. Hey, that would be quite the refreshing change for WWE TV to have Arn Anderson show up with a Glock in his hands. Cody's opponents would not fucking mess with him. Or AJ Styles would have backed off pretty quickly if that was the case on Friday. If Arn Anderson showed up with a fucking Glock in his hands.